Hello, so welcome to the stream. If you're new to these, I collect lots of militaria, gas masks, military equipment, stuff like that. Streams are just places we can have a chat and everything. If you want to support me, there's a Patreon link below, or you can buy merchandise from the Teespring page, or you can just super chat or whatever, but I appreciate any subs and nice comments or whatever. So, hello everybody. Seems that the good thing is that the notification's obviously gone out because somebody's already left a comment. So hello. And it's just about 8 PM now, so we're pretty much right on dot for it. I think 2 minutes to 8 technically. Alright, Peach. Thank you, TK Pyro. Glad you enjoy them. So, does anybody know the name of this mask? That will interest me if some of you get it. Sort of recognise it. If you've been watching Chernobyl, you might recognise this kind of mask. Just seeing if I can get the nose bit completely correct. It's not that important, but... cool, Stellar Flyer. Does it fit alright? What type of phone case did you buy it for? I mean, like, what kind of phone model? Yeah, it's Soviet. Although this is technically a post-Soviet one, it came with this tag on it. It's called the Y2K respirator, so almost like year 2000, there you go. It's on the label there. I think the Soviet ones were technically brown, and the ones from when I was watching Chernobyl, they had like a different looking nose clip on it, like a bit of a sort of different shape one, but otherwise it's functionally exactly the same. Right, cool. It's actually quite a well designed half face respirator. It's just a particulate like dust one. But how it works is you've got an outer foam layer, then you've got an inner paper layer, then you've got a plastic bit inside to stop your sweat or moisture from your breath damaging the inside of the mask. It's got two intake valves which go to the left and right of your mouth or nose, and then it's got the exhale valve there. So basically, although it works using the entire bit mask using foam and paper as the filter, it actually does have a valve system inside, so the air kind of flows through it better, which is quite nice. Oh, Peach got it right, but was that before or after I said it? Because the problem is obviously the chat's delayed. Yeah, only reason I know what it's called is because somebody got posted in the Chernobyl video in the comments saying if you're looking for it, the Cyrillic name is Y2K. Obviously not actually Y2K, but they said type that in and you might find them for sale, and I did. There's no prize, I'm afraid, Peach. It was just more of a curiosity thing, would anybody get it right? So, when my coffee's at a good drinkable temperature, I'll take this off and then I'll show you the inside of it as well. But, yeah, only thing that's not brilliant about it is the strap system. It's not awful, but it's just, the strap's like just very cheap elastic, basically. Yeah, I thought the Horde was really funny, actually. I did laugh out loud a few times watching that, so, yeah, that was good. Alright, cheers, Stellar Flyer. Oh, that's cool, Peach. That's very interesting. I didn't know you were getting one, or you might have said it on one of Mike's streams or whatever, and I've probably just completely forgotten. But so annoyingly, my headphones broke that I had been using on my PC because I've got the blue Snowball as my microphone. It's not too bad if headphones break now because I don't need to buy a new headset, just headphones. But the annoying thing is, where the headphones broke, It was just putting audio through the right channel only, not the left channel, and I took them apart and all the wires and solders look completely fine, so I don't know why that finally gave up the ghost. So I've got some new headphones on order for tomorrow, but what I did do is I salvaged the pads from my newer headphones to put just loosely on these Philips ones where the rubber had really deteriorated, or whatever it is, fake leather. So now I can at least comfortably wear these again, and these are quite nice headphones, so that's the only upside to it. Some old headphones I didn't want to throw away have now at least been repaired somewhat. The bit that got me quite a bit was when they're on about that bloke who's meant to be the doctor, and then the voiceover says his patients have a relapse rate of 92%. Meaning he's a fucking shit doctor then. This is a Czechoslovakian NBC hood, it's called. But I'm pretty sure quite a few of the Warsaw Pact countries had variants of these. But the idea is it just protects your... you normally wear a mask under it, and then this is just like an overhead thing that protects you from, like, you know, like nerve and blister agents, I guess, if you didn't have a full NBC suit on. Oh, that sounds cool. Can that one detect alpha radiation V-Rantix, or is it just one that is beta and gamma? I'll Google it. Let me just... I've found the manual for it. Oh, it measures alpha, beta and gamma radiation. That's cool. How much do they cost then? Because if they're not stupidly expensive, I'm tempted to get one if it can measure alpha. Oh, one of them coming up is like $750. I wouldn't pay that for one. But... So it's called the Rad Alert 50. I'm just going to Google that just in case more come up. And unfortunately none are coming up on eBay, UK eBay. Oh well, cool, yeah, if you can get one for $70, go ahead. That seems a great price for an alpha beta gamma detector. Because if it's an alpha detector, it means you can make it go crazy with certain things that you can't even get a reading from with beta and gamma. Ah, that's cool. Which one's the Type 95? Because my mind's going blank. Do you mean Type 65? Because my Type 65 works, actually, yeah, which surprised me. But I'm guessing that's just because it was sealed in a bag inside the satchel. But that surprised me. When I actually started using my Type 65 for the video I did on it, that was what really surprised me, that it was actually a lot better than I was thinking. I thought it was like, this is going to be the worst cheek filter mask ever. But as the filter in mine still works, the straps were good, and you don't have to replace the cheek filter in it, because you can't replace the cheek filter in it. I was like, oh, it's not too bad. Ah, yeah, Type 65, yeah. But yeah, that surprised me of mine. You know, it was a lot better than I was expecting. I mean, obviously the Chinese Type 69 is a better mask in the sense that it's very similar to the Type 65, except it just takes 40mm filters. But yeah, in the regard that the Type 65, my one, and obviously your one, still work, despite the fact they're decades old. You know, all in all, not too bad, is it? Yeah, I mean, yeah, due to the age of the filter, you don't really know what's in there, and there's obviously risk of inhaling stuff, but for the video I tested it, because I thought, why not? You know, my health's not brilliant anyway. I'll take the 0.00001% asbestos risk, or whatever it is, you know, for the sake of a video. $50 to $60 for an M58, especially if you can get it with the tin, would be a good deal. Just bear in mind they're not necessarily going to be in very good condition due to how cheaply they were made. Or am I thinking M58 or M56? M58's that Italian one. The M56 is the German one. So did you mean a German one? Oh, that's cool. Laser Point Productions. That's the thing that's quite interesting that Hype's been saying, is about a lot of those Chinese gas masks that you can buy very cheaply. Because, what would be good for recommending to people is, because there's lots of Chinese masks that, you know, are NBC rated, that are very, very cheap brand new on like eBay or Alibaba or any of those kind of places. That is worth it for people who want a mask seriously for like proper use, because you can essentially buy a brand new mask for like £10. They're ridiculously cheap, some of those Chinese masks. It depends. Do you mean like for a collector's perspective, Promi, or do you mean like just a really good all-round mask for use? Yeah, I'd always say get an NBC suit, because you can find a lot of uses for them that aren't actually like military uses. Right, tell you what, I'll take this mask off now so I can show you the inside and I can start drinking my coffee, because I don't want it to start going cold. I might stream for 90 minutes today if I've got the energy. I'm obviously a lot more awake today than I was yesterday, because I didn't, you know, lay in for too long today. So, there we go. So that's the inside of it. If I just go to the live webcam bit, so, you guys can actually see what I'm seeing now. So, yeah, you've got your outside bit, so that's your foam. Then if you look inside, you can see it's got a thing to keep the shape of it, which is good, unlike a lot of dust masks. Then it's, oh, get it back in frame. It's got paper on the inside, and then you've got the two valves, so air comes through those once it's gone through the foam and the mesh. And then, obviously you've got your exhale valve there. So the only cheap and nasty thing about it really is the straps. Nowhere near as good as the sort of 3M head harness ones, but I'd take this any day over like a cheap builder's dust mask, because that's essentially what it is, but it just fits to your face properly because of how they've made it. That's interesting. Sadly, the elastic band from ours just got thrown away because I put it on the table to keep it. Not like I was desperate to keep an elastic band, you know, from like that kind of thing. But, yeah, I thought, oh, that is kind of a sturdy looking elastic band. I'll just put it in the drawer with all the other elastic bands so we can reuse them until they break. But then I think my mum threw it away because she's like, oh, we don't need an elastic band on the table. I think Mega Gamer Nick, they probably did. I'm sure there's lots of people that thought there'll be some sort of Doomsday computer virus. Yeah, as said, U2K or Y2K. If you want to find them, Y2K gets more results. At the moment, Promi, on eBay there's shums with all the gear for like £20. I don't know what country you're in, but yeah, £20 I would definitely pay for an SHMS shums. But, yeah. Shall I tell you what, while there's no immediate topics getting brought up, I'll have a look on eBay and I'll see if I can find any reasonably priced masks that might interest people. So let's have a look. I'll search first for gas mask and then I'll search for more like specific ones. MC1s for $5.99, that's always a good price. For anybody that wanted a reasonably priced gas GP5 style mask, a seller called K-Bar that has 99.8% positive feedback with nearly 10,000 feedback, so obviously they sell quite a lot of stuff. They're selling Polish OM14s by the look of it. They've labelled them as GP5s, but the pictures are OM14s. For $6.99, or sorry, no, it's 10. It's not too bad. It's $10.19 for the mask with the brown filter and the hose, like the small coffee can. That is, yeah, £10.19, which isn't bad at all. This K-Bar seller, I'm gonna have a look at their store. They've also got in a what's it? The SR1, the Polish casualty mask for I'll link to their eBay store actually because they seem to have quite a lot of stuff in. So let's have a look through their thing. Right, here you go. I'd say it's an impact tool Proforce because it's designed to break glass. That's its actual job. Let's have a look what they've got on here. Yeah. Soviet dosimeter pen. That's kind of handy. Does it come with the thing to reset it though? But because it's got the Rontgen thing on it, I could just leave it next to the Fiesta Wear for a day and then see if it gets to 3.6. I might buy some things from this guy. I'll save the seller actually because seems to have quite a lot of cool things in. Waterproof NATO NBC gloves for $3.99, that's not bad. The Hungarian surplus jacket looks quite nice, that's on there. Waterproof time capsule kind of tubes, they're quite cool for about 10 quid. He's got those extreme cold weather masks in, you know, like the GIMP looking ones, so I'm kind of tempted, not that I have an interest in it for GIMP reasons, as I'm sure you'd understand, but I might buy a few things from this seller then. I might get one of those gimpy cold weather masks for shits and giggles. I might get, what was it? One of the things I just looked at. Oh, he's even got packs of Soviet road signs in. There's one with a gas mask on. That would look fucking cool to put on the wall. How much? Oh, I'm sorry, I'm getting a bit interested in this seller now. I'll go back to the chat in a minute, but I might have to put a big order through for a load of his stuff. What's this one? Style. Gas mask zone. $17.99, and it's like a proper road sign. Oh, I am tempted now to get one and stick that on the wall. I think that would look brilliant. Okay, I'm definitely going to save this seller, because I'm going to have a proper look through his stuff in a bit. But what do you mean, what's with the bolts for £10? What, that about? Are you replying to somebody, Mike, with that one? Yeah, I'm just signing in. I've got him saved. eBay's logging me out. Yeah, I'll definitely after the stream probably put a few orders through with this guy because I've got quite a lot of donations from people recently. It would be nice to buy a load of channel related things. What else has he got? I'm just seeing if he's got anything that's not just like clothing or backpacks. Walsall packed cold weather trousers for $5.99 to $9.99. That might be really good for people who live in colder countries. We wouldn't need them in the summer here at the moment. But what's this one? Two-way rubber gas mask hose, black Soviet Russian. Assuming this isn't actually a fetish thing. This is kind of interesting. Oh, this is cool. It's one that's designed to connect to the cheek filter masks. So it's like one that would go on the M10 and then it goes to a 40mm screw. That's $18.99. I wouldn't pay that for a hose, but... some old canteens for people that would be interested in canteens. Full body Austrian raincoat, I guess would double as an NBC suit. Oh, he's got East German greatcoats on there for people interested. About 48 quid, but they're proper fashionable East German greatcoats. Oh, he's actually got valves as well, like replacement valves for GP5s and things, which is quite good because people ask me about that. But saying that, buying those for 6 quid, I wouldn't really do that, just because if you can buy a new GP5 for 10 quid. He's got the Czech NBC suits as well for like 10 quid. So I'm kind of tempted to maybe get one of those. What else is on here? Sorry, I will go to the chat properly in a minute. I'm just finding a lot of fucking cool stuff on here. Some DDR hats, like these German stuff. Some Serbian camouflage, the Serbian kind of woodland one that I quite like. Flecktarn stuff. Some other types of greatcoats. The Dutch DPM backpack's quite cool. $30-litre water tank, that's quite cool. I suppose if you wanted one to put in your car boot for like a really long-term survival scenario. Flecktarn trousers for $21.99. You can probably get them cheaper than that. Oh, I've got them on. I was just then looking for them, but yeah, Flecktarn trousers, $21.99. I'd pay that for them if they're in good condition. What else has he got? Woodland DPM trousers for about 20 quid. Some scopes for sale, but they're pretty expensive. Soviet artillery satchels that you can seal. They look cool. Right, I'm nearly through looking at all his items, so I'll be back to the chat in a minute, but... you know, I'm glad I found this seller, because this seems like he's got some really good old stuff. Oh, he's got, yeah, some of the cold weather hoods like this one, but yeah, the ones that have the foam kind of stuff in. So yeah, that might interest people who are kind of interested in these hoods. Tank goggles, so they're pretty steampunk looking. But yeah, I definitely reckon I'm going to buy a gas mask sign to go on the wall behind me. I reckon that would look brilliant on the wall if I can mount it alright. Curry MREs if you really wanted to buy one of them. I think I've finished looking through all this stuff now, but yeah. Oh, I'm glad I found that seller, because there's some quite cool looking stuff on there. Yeah, I'll post the link again. There you go. There's his link again for the people who didn't see it. Yeah, hopefully he ships to Australia, Laser Point Production, but Are you sure that's not a fetish thing, Shot Zombie? Which one's off of Amazon? I've seen multiple gas masks for sale off of Amazon. If it's a GP5, if it's in good condition and you put new filters on it, sure. If it's some sort of airsoft mask, no. If it's an Israeli mask, yeah, probably would work. Right, I'll need to go out the room to get it, Jacob, but I have the perfect suggestion for you on that one. I'll finish my coffee before putting it on. But the Israeli M15, which is the Israeli sort of improved copy of the M65. So unlike the M65, it's got an actual peripheral seal on the inside, which is the main thing I like about this. And it's got a voice diaphragm. And another good feature of it, the exhale valve is right where the chin is, so your sweat actually drains out properly. So yeah, that's a GP7 on the right, armour on the wall. Yeah, sure, Shot Zombie. Although it won't, sadly, it won't let you post a link in here, but you can put it on Discord and then I'll check it out at some point. Yeah. I know it's just with some sellers, obviously, like, yeah, they might not specify, but I suppose if you contact them in advance, they're more willing to do it, because one thing we don't like doing is, because my dad sells stuff on eBay, what he finds annoying is when he says, you know, UK only, then you get non-UK people buy it anyway, and then, like, say, oh, well, can't you still do it for, like, £3 postage to, like, you know, somewhere completely different? You're like, no. That's a really hard question, Mega Gamer Nick, because it depends, a lot of the time it depends how good a deal you get on one. Because if you want something that gives you really good protection, I'd say something like the Fushida F2 or the Avon FM12 or any like the really new military masks from a lot of nations. But only if you spot those at a really cheap price, because if you're paying a couple of $100s for those, then they're not really giving you bang for your buck. Yeah. Yeah, it's 40mm NATO. Well, I think it's actually normalised because it's an Israeli mask, because Israel made its masks to fit NATO and PAC filters, but it's a NATO filter on there at the moment. It's got a drinking tube, but the Israeli drinking tube equipment can sometimes be hard to find. Some of the Polish drinking tube equipment fits this, but not perfectly, but you can get that to work. But yeah, the German M65 doesn't make an airtight seal with my face, but this one does. So, that's the coffee finish. Don't forget, there's merch below if you're interested. So, yeah. There we go. So, as you can see, mask's on. If I do a pressure check, pressurizer absolutely fine. Fairly decent field of view. As I said, the exhale valve's in the chin, so your sweat will drain out of this mask. I'm trying to remember, I'm sure you sent me one. I think I know what it is, but as I said, yeah, I won't tell people what it is, Laser Point Productions, because, yeah, I know which one you're on about now, I've just remembered, but yeah. I won't tell anybody what mask it is, because I hope you win it, and I don't want the price to go up for you. But yeah. Hopefully, I've got quite a few helmets, Mad Max. If you search my helmet collection on my channel, you'll see a lot of them. I've also got a Yugoslav helmet recently I really like, but that's not in that video because it's more recent than the video. Yeah, the only annoying thing with this mask is just where the drinking tube is, means that for some people that can be annoying, apparently, if you're shouldering a rifle. But yeah, Israeli M15s are brilliant masks. Aren't they still in Israeli military service as well? Because this one's dated 1983. There, look. So yeah, they've had this mask in service for decades, and it is a really good mask because it's just literally an improved German M65, Draeger M65. Mask on the FAU. The one on the actual barrel's the PDF. That's the German M65. So it's the one the Israeli mask's like an improved copy of. Because the M65 doesn't actually have a voice diaphragm, that's just an XL valve cover there. So there's no voice diaphragm on that. There's no drainage hole at the bottom for sweat. And it doesn't make a very good face seal because it's not got a very big peripheral seal inside. So lots of people, including me, find with Draeger M65s that as much as it's a comfortable mask, it doesn't really make a good airtight seal. Also, these can be quite hard to find, but Bulgarian PG1s are also another good M65 copy because you see it's got an actual voice diaphragm there. The XL valves around the outside of the voice diaphragm, then you've got the voice diaphragm. The straps and that on that aren't the most comfortable in the world, but again, if you spotted one cheap, it's a good enough mask. No, I don't think I did Slingshot Warrior. I have to check that out at some point. Thanks for reminding me. €70 for a BEM 4GP is a lot, Gregors. As you're in Poland, can you get an MP5 quite cheaply? Because I like the Polish MP5, although a lot of people have said to me that the issue with them is the MP5 often, because of how they did the lens, you can get them either in like completely brand new grade A condition where they're amazing masks, or you can get them where they're falling apart. So if you could get a Polish MP5 cheaply in Poland, that would be a good mask. Especially if you could check it first, you know, to check there's no flaws with it. What, the one to the left of the German one, that would be the PDF, which is the Soviet children's mask. There's two PDFs, one there, one there. That one I've put an extra long hose on, that one's not got a hose on it. The the XL valves are different on each of those, but there's quite a lot of different generations of PDFs. If you mean the one next to the Katana, that's a Chinese Type 59 Model A, is it? I can't even remember now. Yeah, cool. I was playing some more 76 earlier, but I wasn't streaming it. The stuttering doesn't seem to be as bad now. It's still stuttering, so I don't know if it's like where it's loading stuff in. I don't know, but as we said, it's early July, isn't it? AMD now have said that those CPUs are launching, so by the end of July I should hopefully have my new PC, because that should give lots of the places time to get them in stock, you know, and the motherboards in stock. So yeah, I'll be looking at getting an AMD Ryzen 3900 or 3900X, whatever it's called, which is the one that boosts the 4-point-something gigahertz thing, but it's the one with, is it 1632? Like with the cores and threads? What do you mean, what is the best to wear in the British military? That is the PPM 88, I can show you it, because it's one that I've got stored down here. Now, it doesn't normally come in a DPM satchel, that's just the seller had sold it to me in that, but unfortunately my one is broken. But yeah, the mask is the PPM 88. My one's got a damaged XL valve, so I'd need to repair that. But yeah, the mask in Metro is the PPM 88. I did do a video actually, if you're interested, which shows you a load of the masks from Metro, and like if they're based on real ones or like variations of real ones. Right, a side-mounted filter mask. Let's have a think for you then. Because hopefully you can find something that's not too expensive. I don't suppose you've got any Polish MP6 for sale yet, have you? Because, is the MP6 a side-loading filter? I'm going to have to look, I'm not actually sure. Polish MP6 gas mask. Yeah, the Polish MP6 takes filters side-loading. The modern MP6, not the old one. Yeah, so Polish MP6, but that looks very similar to a Forshida F2, or like, you know, an FM53, or I think there's two models of the MP6, isn't there? One with the two lenses, one with a sort of panoramic lens. I haven't seen Terminator 2 in ages, but let me Google it and see if Terminator 2 gas mask, just because I want to see if I can recognise it. Like what the SWAT team are wearing. Ah, I think it's the same one they wear in Leon the Professional, isn't it? Apparently it's an MSA mask, so mining safety applications, whatever they're called, mining safety appliances. Oh no, it's a slightly different mask in Leon, but yeah, it's an MSA mask apparently, so it looks like it's an MSA, yeah, from what I can find on Google, it's an MSA sort of side-loading mask anyway. Just search something like Metro 2033 gas masks, Domcom Bomb Ghost, and you'll find it. Because it should turn up fairly high on the YouTube search rankings anyway, because I get random people comment on it. Most of them are overpressure, Jacob, where they have like more air pressure inside the tank than outside the tank. Some use filters, obviously, where air is pulled through a filter, but some of them are overpressure systems, where the idea is that, you know, the tank doesn't have to be quite airtight because the air in the tank is higher pressure than outside, if that makes sense. Yeah, I suppose that's why they do that, to give you confidence in your mask, isn't it? Because if you do the... because my granddad said he hated doing the gas thing, but that wasn't with CS gas back then. It was whatever the, you know, like tear gases developed by World War II were. But when they had to do like the test, you know, they did it with the Mark Vs, where you put your Mark V on with the big orange-red filter. On the hose, and then, you know, it gave you confidence in your mask, because when you took your mask off, obviously you're in a lot of pain and your eyes were stinging and everything, so that's how they knew their masks worked. Yeah, it sounds like typical bullshit customer service, doesn't it, Laser Point Production? Alright, cool, let me just quickly open Discord up a second, mate, so then I can actually check for the link. Ah, sad rocks. Right, let me have a look at this seller then. Right, let me save them as well. How do I save on eBay on the main page? Oh, it's just the heart button that says save, of course it is. And it's asking me to sign in again, even though I already signed in. Oh wait, it's on ebay.com, isn't it? So it's not letting me save them. Brilliant. I can still look for their items, and I'm sure I can try and... Yeah, lots of nice full uniforms on there. As I've sort of said before, I don't tend to collect much stuff other than the camo stuff, but yeah, this is still very interesting. Yeah, they've got some of the digital flora stuff on there, so that would be like stuff I'd actually be interested in. But, yeah, cool. Anyway, I'll go back to the chat now. I just find gas masks cool. Let me Google it, because I don't actually know what that mask is from just its name. Oh, that looks cool. Well, there's different ones coming up, but one of the ones coming up is very much like the Serbian M3. One looks like the Serbian M2, another looks like the Serbian M3, so I guess it's just a Serbian gas mask manufacturer, is it? But, is the panorama mask the one with, like the big panoramic lens at the front? That looks cool. How much is it? But it looks cool, anyway. Oh, because I've got some sort of weird piece of clothing on. Yeah, good. I like the Mad Max films. As long as I'm not dressed up in some leather gimp gear, I guess. If they've got one for $30, then I'd go for it. Yeah, the mask that interests me is the Yugoslavian MD1 mask, because that's the Yugoslavian children's mask, but it looks really high quality for a children's mask. The other one that interests me as well is that the M3, which is like a Serbian kind of M40 ripoff, which, you know, let's see if I can put an image in the chat. Right, here you go. If you click on the link if you're interested. There you go, that's the Serbian M3, which is pretty much an M40 clone. It's not exactly an M40 clone, but I do find that quite interesting. But sadly, I've never seen those for sale on eBay, because I thought at one point it might be easier to get that than an actual US M40, but then I saw an M40 for sale first. The least expensive mask, something like a GP5 or a Polish MC1, because you can get those for about $5 or pounds sometimes. What sort of Australian snacks? I mean, I'd be interested, but probably not, I'd say, just because with my colitis I need to be quite careful what I eat some of the time. I think the most likely Doomsday event for the world, there could be a couple, but I think the most likely would be some kind of, like, flu pandemic, you know, a bit like the 1918 flu, that ends up killing a massive amount of people, and if you think how easy it is for air travel and everything now, something like that could spread really easily. I don't think that would wipe out all of humanity, but I think it could kill a massive amount, you know, like a quarter of the Earth's population, something like that, if we got a massive flu pandemic again. What else could there be? Another thing I reckon would be if you had another Chernobyl-style nuclear disaster, which didn't end up being contained properly. So, you know, if you ended up having one reactor blow up, taking out several other reactors with it as a giant dirty bomb, that could take out massive amounts of the Earth's population, or just leave areas uninhabitable. Yeah, exactly. MC1 kit for $3 is amazing, and it would hold up, actually. Yeah, I was wearing it earlier in the stream. There you go. I haven't played Modern Warfare 3 in ages, but they had the GP5s in Modern Warfare 1 being worn by some of the people, and the GP5s are in Modern Warfare 2 as well. Is what real, Beeben? This mask's real, if that's what you're on about. Oh, interesting. Person who I have no idea how to pronounce your name, but yeah. I mean, that's a good thing, isn't it? It's like, supposedly, if they use thorium, it would be even safer, but apparently it's very hard to do thorium fission or fusion, isn't it? I've not looked into it that much, because I'm not a massive nerd on, sort of nuclear energy. But, you know, it still wouldn't surprise me, though, if in some sort of developing country you could have some major nuclear disaster, sort of Chernobyl size. On this, it's foam and paper, basically, because it's like a dust mask. It's to protect the wearer from, like, fallout kind of alpha radiation stuff, or, like, you know, dusts. It's not designed as an NBC mask, it would just be like an N mask out of all those. Oh no. Soon he'll be buying full NBC kits and maybe overpressure vehicle systems. Laser Point Productions, what have you done? But it's a nice present anyway. It's now an A1, but yeah, it's deactivated because it has to comply with UK law. So it's got bits welded in it, you know, like the firing pin's been ground off or stuff like that. Is it a random slab? What that probably is a rain cover for a field cap. Because some of them have like what look like shower caps, and then they're normally, so if you've got an officer's cap on or whatever, you can put that over the officer's cap to stop your cap getting wet in the rain. That's generally what those are for. No, the only British modern thing I have is a Mark IV Osprey vest. Yeah, I'll put the dust mask on again. I had it on earlier, but I'll put it on again. Right. There we go. Just make sure it's into my face properly. Do nose clamp. Yeah, there we go. Because it's a particle thing. In a nuclear fallout situation, the danger is inhaling dust that's been irradiated. So basically, this stops you inhaling irradiated dust. It stops alpha particles getting into your body through your mouth and nose. Yeah, Y2K masks were the masks used in the Chernobyl TV series quite a lot, and the like real Chernobyl stuff, but the Soviet ones tended to be more brown in colour. This is a more modern one, so it's because it came with like newer tag on it, so they still are basically making these, it's just the modern ones are a bit more green looking. Yeah, cool. If you can get the Serbian equivalent for $30, that sounds brilliant, yeah. Especially if there's plates with it. I get mine from D&B Militaria, but they're quite expensive now. Somebody said I look like a duck earlier, now you're saying I look like a dog. But did you know, if you look closely at a duck's beak, it looks like there's a mini dog on its beak. Have you ever seen that? It's creepy. On eBay, type in Y2K respirator. Loads will come up. They're about $10 or so. And then a few dollars postage. So it works out just over £10 for me to get this. I wouldn't really pay that normally for a dust mask, but as it's kind of, you know, a Soviet-themed piece of equipment, I thought I'd go for that. I don't know if I've ever used them before, Promi, but let me see if I can Google them, and then I'll tell you what I think of their pricing. I mean, I wouldn't pay $78 for a fake Pascal helmet when you can buy the real ones for less than that. There's not much coming up though when I look at their website, unless they've got... Oh, here we go, original World War II German militaria. I mean, several grand for Nazi uniforms. I wouldn't pay that personally, but whatever. £600 for a Stahlhelm, dollars even. Let's see how much that East German stuff costs, because that gives you a good idea of if it's overpriced or not. $56 for an M56 helmet's a bit excessive. $30 for an East German visor hat's a bit excessive. Some of their stuff's priced alright. $11 for the gas mask satchels on their own without masks in them, bit excessive. Yeah, I'd say they seem on the dear side, but they've got Stricton in for $8, so that's a good price. So I don't know, their prices seem to be all over the place. I don't have any latex gloves in the room with me right now. Most of my NBC gloves are butyl rather than latex. It could be a manufacturer's logo. Some of them specifies which emperor they're from, a random Slav. Like, yeah, somebody explained this to me with my Japanese World War II gas mask, because there was a marking on the filter and then like a date. And it's to say the year of this emperor's reign, but I don't know if it's that, but it's just the thing the Japanese use as their like date stamps. I don't know, because I don't talk modern kid language fast flight. What can I buy for £10 in comparison? Some not East German necessarily, but some Warsaw Pact NPC, like suits, or the you know, masks with a satchel. Like Polish MC1s, you can often get them, and Czech CM3s, you can often get them in the bag and everything for like £10. I mean, they should do, but I don't actually know Miracle Machine. What about the Korean War, where Korea was obviously, I'll take this off again now. Korea was divided after World War II, and then North Korea invaded South Korea. North Korea being backed by the Soviet Union and Communist China, South Korea being backed by America and Britain and quite a few other countries, and then the war ended in a stalemate. And the war's never technically ended. Yeah, alright, I'll get the link up so I can post it in chat for a laugh then. GermanMilitaria.com. Okay, let's have a look. Wow, their website looks like it was made by, you know, one of those really old-fashioned things, doesn't it? I'm just struggling to navigate their site at the moment, but. Wow, a $3,000 helmet. Brilliant. But yeah, I'll put the link in for people who want it. Yeah, I've tried running and exercising in a gas mask. I'm asthmatic, so it's probably not a good idea for me to overexert myself doing stuff like that, but I've never had too much problem, in all honesty, doing it. Like, yeah, your air is more restricted than normal, but it's not as bad as some people make it out to be. Well, if you look at the disclaimer down there, I'm not going to talk about stuff which may or may not be illegal. If it's a good joke, then go ahead. Or even if it's a shit joke, to be honest, but go ahead. I definitely think countries will still keep trying communism. I don't think it's really going to succeed. I mean, Cuba, is Cuba still technically communist? I don't know, because, I mean, they're still around, aren't they, Cuba? Yeah, I'm not in Germany. We can own any Nazi gear we want in the UK. It's not necessarily a good idea to own it. Because as weapon collectors said quite a few times, they will completely use it to smear you if anything ever happens regarding the, you know, law. But it's not illegal in the UK anyway. Is that worth more or less being a Type 38 than a Type 99? I'm afraid I wouldn't even know a random Slav. Oh, go ahead. Don't keep saying I want to hear a joke and then don't tell me the joke. Somebody asked a question about communism and then it's all gone off. We had the political stream the other week. You should have talked about communism then. I'm still waiting for Laserpoint Productions to post the punchline from his joke. I don't know Airsoft Brogan mechanics. Alright, let's look at your link. So this one's sold. Okay. Wow, an $8,000 helmet. You could have bought a fucking Rolex for that. I hope it wasn't you that bought it for that much money. There we go, there's the link. Yeah, I'd rather we didn't have racist jokes on here, please. I could potentially do another political stream this week. I can't probably stream Thursday because I've got a really busy day planned Thursday. It's just one of those annoying days where, because I volunteer on a Thursday and I'm actually having to go out in the evening for something completely different on Thursday, I'm not going to have much time. But potentially tomorrow or Friday I could do a politics stream. I'm still waiting for Thingy Bob to get back what his joke was. Oh, yeah, so YouTube censored your joke, Laserpoint Production. What did you say? Can you try posting the punchline again? I saw you say, looks at GP5 filter listing on eBay. And then, yeah, the punchline didn't come through. What about pounds to US dollars? In general, though it can change, a pound is a dollar is about 70 pence, so 70 pence is $1. Or a dollar is like £1.30. No, I'm getting confused now. No, £1 is $1.30. Yeah, there we go. It's Czechoslovakian NBC hood. Oh, did it delete your joke again, Laserpoint Productions? PM it me on Discord quickly if you want to, and then I can read it on Discord. I've bought from them before. This was back when they used to cost more for postage. But yeah, it was alright. They seem to have quite a lot of good stuff in on Varu Stroke, or however it's called. Okay, this is a joke. Looks at GP5 filter listing. Filters have no expiration, so it's 100% safely. Its surface life from 30 to 180 days, maybe longer, asbestos free. The filter does not contain asbestos and are absolutely safe for humans. Oh well. It's quotes from real sellers. So the joke is that you might get mesophilia. I can't pronounce. No, this isn't a Chernobyl firefighter's hood, it's a Czechoslovakian NBC hood. Oh no. How much did this go for? How much did it go for, Rusky? Well, capitalism, but as I said, I'm fairly libertarian, but I like the idea that you have a free market where there's some taxation on some goods which pays for some socialised services. So how much did that smock sell for then, that you've just posted a picture of? No, I don't think I do have that Polish mask. Let me Google it. And now Google doesn't want to let me Google it. Hang on. Search Google. No, I don't. Well, there's two different masks coming up when I search that, but one's just an OM14. Is that just the MP5 coming up? Or is it slightly different? Because there's one coming up that looks like a Polish variant of this, which is obviously the PPM88. And then one thing looks a bit like the MP5, but yeah, I think what's coming up looks like a Polish PPM88. I don't know if it is or not, but it looks fairly similar. But no, I don't have that mask. Right, you're back. Don't post racist jokes again. What do you mean rainbow stuff inside a GP5? Maybe it's a magic GP5. Or maybe it's an LGBTQ GP5, I don't know. Or maybe there's like an oil spill in it, I really don't know. What do you mean if you were to wear guns in an airsoft game? Do you mean real guns or what? Depends what you want. I prefer 2 lenses normally, but it depends on the mask, because it depends on the curvature of it and the material it's made from, and it's quite complicated, really. But the problem is, a lot of panoramic lenses end up horribly distorting your vision, because where they've done the curvature of the plastic or glass or whatever, it ends up making your vision go really funny. It sounds like your GP5 then should be celebrated, because we can't say bad things about it now. Alright, I'll stay on for another 5 to 10 minutes and then I'll finish the stream. If Mike's on Twitch later, I'll watch him on Twitch. You might damage your glasses, Eric. I'd say that would probably damage your glasses. No, I don't have Battlefield 5 and I'm not going to buy it. I don't have Battlefield 1 and I'm not going to buy it. You might notice a pattern here. I have no idea, Promi. So, is it like the knapsack kind of thing, or is it like a mag pouch? Shot Zombie might know, because he seems to know a lot about, like, random communist, like, equipment. Well, for painting, you can use pretty much any mask, which just has a vapor and a particle filter on it. But there are, like, just industry-made paint masks that are very basic, for the most part. Depends how soft the yogurt is, Airsoft Brogan. I think I know the one you mean. I think that's like the one I've got. I don't know, maybe there was something inside it? I really don't know, to be honest. Strictarn's cool, because it's a really cool colour, because it's like the blandest colour possible. And because it's such a bland colour, it actually blends in really, really well. Do you think maybe some food was stored in there for years, Promi? And, like, you've got molten food residue or black mould or something in there? I don't know. No, I don't have a German M35 helmet. But yeah, Strictarn is brilliant because it's this very bland kind of olive drab brown colour that kind of just disappears wherever you place it because it's such a bland, boring colour. So, of course, when you make a stripy camo pattern out of that, it's amazingly good camo. Well, I keep an Avon FM12 in my car, and I also have a half face mask in the car, but that's just because I use the half face mask volunteering, and I also have like a first aid kit in the back of my car. No, it doesn't. How can you think Strictarn looks bad? What's wrong with you? Yeah, I've seen that picture. My favourite German gas mask. Well, the coolest looking one I've seen is the M2000, but I don't have one. What do you mean, like 50 cent dust masks and useless ones? these German helmets are cool. Yeah, they look weird, but the actual shape of them means they're ballistically pretty good for old steel helmets. I like MTP, which is the British rip-off of Multicam, because it works in most places decently enough. Because I don't live very close to an airsoft site, and they only do like one game a month. So basically, I'd have to travel like 40 odd miles in my car to get to the site. And then it's on a Sunday, so I'd have to book the Sunday off of work. That's basically my reason. Yeah, it'd be better, wouldn't it, if they gave you these, to be honest. Yeah, that's the reason I've said I don't like the idea of using cheap dust masks. I think they give some people a false sense of security, where they actually end up exposing themselves to more stuff because they have the illusion that the dust mask's on and it's working. Yeah, you should sue them, Laser Point Production. When I was at school, they were removing the asbestos from one of the classrooms, and then they decided midway through the job that we were going to have to go back in the classroom, and they just put duct tape on all the places they'd partially taken the asbestos out of. So like all the window frames and everything all around the room, the ceiling tiles just had duct tape on. It's like, yeah, that made me feel really safe. Yeah, that's how I got re-diagnosed with asthma, funnily enough, when I was volunteering. Because, like, I think I said before, I used to have asthma when I was a lot younger, and I hadn't had any symptoms for years, and they took me off of inhalers. But I was volunteering, and they ended up giving me, like, the cheap dust mask to use in a dusty room. So, like, the dust would irritate me a bit, but it wouldn't be too bad. So I put on their cheap dust mask. I did, like, a half-hour cleaning thing in this dusty room with no extractor fans or anything like that. And then I was just wheezing horribly and couldn't breathe. And, that was because I relied on a shitty dust mask. So yeah, I always use proper respirators now because, I'm not going to even go into a room because, yeah, like you say, you get a placebo effect where you think it's working until your lungs are just coated with dust. That's cool. Volvo mask. Is it really strong like an old Volvo? Like, could you smash stuff up with the Volvo mask? Now, the actual M2000's like a weird green alien looking mask. The Scott GSR maybe, Miracle Machine. Or maybe my Hungarian M76, whatever it's called. M74, M76, I can't remember the name of it. The one that's a bit like a German GM30. It's a cool looking mask, but it's got like no good materials in it whatsoever, so it doesn't make a very good seal. And it's size 4 and it's still too small for me. Well, you can't get a filter that filters everything, because there's some things filters can't filter, which is why you'd need like a rebreather or a mask with an air tank. But if you mean like an ABEX style filter that can filter the majority of gases you might come across, £50 plus I'd say to get a mask. But then again, if you bought a GP5 and then got an in-date FP5 filter, you might be looking under 30 quid for that, so I really don't know. Only when I converted my PBF Peach. What's the filter that can filter everything? This interests me. Oh, it's called nothing. I thought you were going to say then it's a plug that you put in the bottom of a mask so you suffocate, but at least, bad things can't get through. Anyway, I'll finish the stream off now because it's been about an hour and 15 minutes, so don't forget to like the stream if you haven't liked it before. I've had quite a lot of fun on tonight's stream. There's been a few people being a bit silly on it, but otherwise it's been alright. The only people that were blocked, though, were the ones people actually coming on who weren't even regulars to just post abusive messages to people, so they're gone. But as I said, most people now will just get a timeout as a warning rather than a block, because I don't want to block people for, you know, little minor things. But yeah, don't forget, there's merch and that below if you are interested. Thanks, everybody. I will definitely stream tomorrow, but I don't know what time yet. I'll try and do a community announcement. I didn't do a community announcement today, but I'll try and do one tomorrow when I know what time I'm streaming, but I don't know too much yet what I'm doing, so... That wasn't actually a spam comment, that one that you just hid. Can I re-show it? I can't make his message show up, that's annoying. But Mr. Bird Italian's comment is actually a proper comment. That's a type of filter. He's not spammed on the keyboard, that is a type of filter. I'll post what he put back in the chat just before I finish then, hang on. There we go. He said that. And he wasn't spamming the chat. That's an actual thing. I'm medically unfit to serve, so I can't. Anyway, that will do for today's stream. See you everybody, and I'll be on at some point tomorrow.